Hello, can you guys hear me? I think you guys can hear me. I see my mic is on. At least I'm hoping you guys can hear me. I'm gonna wait a second. Hello. Hello. I just want to make sure you guys out there, can you guys hear me? Okay.
Who's muted?
Hey, Miss Sandra.
Hey, I'm muted. I think I'm muted, ain't I? Let me see.
I can hear you. So you
Oh,
can
you
hear
can?
me. If you're saying hey back to me, that means you can hear me. So good.
Yeah.
So
I
Yes,
just
we can hear you.
yeah, I just
okay,
got
good.
off of Zoom. Just got off of Zoom and came straight to you, Zoom. I'm busy, busy.
Oh, I've been back to back all day, so I get it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna wait another minute or so. While I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and try to share my screen. Yeah. Hoping you guys can see. You can see my screen, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I'm hoping it's showing up right. I usually have like three screens and I use Teams a lot. I don't use Zoom as much. So I have to get my mind back right to use Zoom. Okay, so I do want to be cognizant of everybody's time. It's about 33 minutes after the hour, 34 minutes after the hour. I see some folks still popping in, which is amazing. So this is Coach Mike. This is my husband here. Um, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Be very cognizant of you guys' time. First and foremost, my name is Tasha Simpson. My husband, Michael Simpson. We're the owners or founders of Soaring Eagles Track Club. Very excited about that. And I'll get to share with you guys what Soaring Eagles Track Club is about, how we started, and give you guys some information and some contact information to connect with us. I am recording this session. My goal is, if my system works right, is to send it out, put it on a YouTube link, and whoever may have missed it, they can come back and view it if they need to. And it's pretty much the same presentation that we do year after year, just to give you guys an idea of who we are and what we are about. So I'll go ahead and get started because, again, I want to go through the presentation and then I want to give you guys the opportunity to ask questions. Again, this is an informational session to give you guys as much information as I most possibly can within the time that we have together. And our registration session, which is our actual session where athletes will sign up, is going to be on March 3rd, which is a Monday at the community center. And of course, you can send your information in, but we try to make it a in-person session so I can take measurements and all that good stuff, and you guys could turn in your stuff opposed to mailing it and get lost in the mail. We like to do that in-person session to give you guys the opportunity to do that. But you can very well mail in your packet or meet me somewhere and give it to me. Just know you're responsible for taking the measurements, and we'll tell you about that. And our uniforms are custom made. So once I give the measurements, it is what it is, and that's what they have. So I share that because we had an athlete who we take our measurements in March, and then our first track meet is usually isn't to May. And this particular young man, he decided he wanted to go on an eating spree, and he gained a lot of weight between that time frame. And it was fine. He was a little kid, so it didn't bother him. But just know he still had to wear the uniform because we didn't have another one for him. It went based off his measurements. So I'll go ahead and get started. Again, first and foremost, I want to thank you guys for giving us your Tuesday evening. We know that it is a lot getting here after work. So we appreciate that and we don't take this lightly. So I go ahead and say, forgive me if you see some typos as far as I use the same presentation year after year. So if you see 2024, just know it's 2025. So for the most part, everything is the same. So I'm not going to put it in present mode. I'm just going to kind of scan through it. So Soaring Eagles Track Club, who are we? We are a 501c3 nonprofit sports organization, and we teach, train, develop track and field, yes, but we use that as a carrot to kind of dangle in front of the kids. Because if you tell them, hey, you're going to learn about life skills and things like that, you're not going to get them to participate. But we train track and field, but we also teach life skills, personal development things like that based on Christian principles. I'm heavy on that. I am actually a training consultant in real life, so I do teach and train. And so teaching and training and inspiring and developing the youth is a very big passion that my husband and I both have. And so that's what we use Soaring Eagles Track Club to teach them those things as well as track and field. And when I say by that, like for example, and I share more, some of the things that we do, we teach them throughout our track practice. A lot of times they don't know what they're learning. We teach them personal development things. We teach them just things based on Christian principles. We also teach them educational stuff. Last year, we took a trip to the African American Museum. We bus whatever kid wanted to participate, as well as friends and family. As long as you knew them and you trust them around your child, they could be a part of our trip. We did not do a Facebook blast where we open it up to whoever saw the post because we want to be cognizant of who we keep around our children. But if you knew them and you got the word out and your neighbor wanted to go or your neighbor's neighbor wanted to go, they could very well sign up for the trip. This year, our plan is to, again, go back to DC, but we want to go to the Bible Museum as well as the African American History Museum for the ones who didn't get the opportunity to see it. That's the plan. That could change. We're open to ideas. We're not married to that, but that's the plan. So our track club was founded in 2016 by myself as well as my husband under advisory, which was a coach that I had as well as I ran track in high school, not college, but my brother who helped us start the track club, he ran track in high school, college, and ended up being a professional athlete. His name was Lee Vernon McNeil. We lost him due to COVID in 2021. And so he helped us build the club. And now, and I'm probably getting ahead of myself, we have a track meet each year in his honor, the Lee Vernon McNeil SETC Invitational, and to give scholarship funds away to children in the community. And for the last 3 years, last 3 years, we've given away the first year we gave away 4 scholarships. Second year we gave away 4. And this year we only gave away 3 because we were prepared to give away 4, but all the kids that submitted didn't complete the process. So we have money to want to give away. So it's up to them to complete the process. So our goal is to continue to give away scholarship funds in his honor. We're founded, we focus on leveraging diversity, building team work skills, teaching, discipline, self-awareness, all those things to make them a better athlete as well as a better child. We focus on developing the whole athlete, not just catering to their athletic ability. So that's the reason why we do the life skills. We teach them spiritual development. We teach them based on biblical principles. We may reference the Bible, we may not. I like to tell people that so they know that we will be talking about Jesus and the love of Jesus. So we're very passionate about that. We actually had a guy who was Muslim who wanted to join, and we shared that with him, and he was okay with that, and that was perfectly fine. Just know we're not converting, but we would definitely want to teach you about the love of Jesus and the children. So our athletes do compete, not in just life. Yeah, they compete in life as well, but we also are USATF as well as AAU track. We do both tracks. We pride ourselves on the individualized attention that we share or we give the children. We don't want our track team to be so big that we have A team and a B team because we want the kids to get that individualized attention. So when we're in practice, if they're struggling with something, we're going to take time and we're going to show them how to do X, Y, and Z. Despite one of the things that we also pride ourselves on, we try to make it affordable for every athlete to be able to participate. That was one thing that I was very passionate about. Despite their social backgrounds, economic status, we're dedicated to creating Olympians of life through track and field. So that's one of the things we want to make sure that all children, despite their economic background, they can participate. Some of our standards and expectations, behavior, of course, respect is a must. We have an absolute zero tolerance for disrespect, no profanity. Your behavior outside of the track team is just as important within the track team. So while they're at school, on social media, all those things, we try to teach them this is how to conduct themselves. Not that the parents don't do a good job doing that, but we partner with you guys to help you guys teach and train and help grow up with the child. Um, we participate. We have developmental sessions. We didn't have as many as I would like for us to have last year, but I'm hoping to be able to bring those things back. We do team engagements where we're not just engaging the track team, we try to engage the whole family. And what I mean by that, when we have different sessions, our trips that we do, volunteer work, all those kind of things, we want the whole family to be involved, not just the child, because we're big on family participation. I'm huge on effective communication. I rather over communicate than under communicate. I will send you text messages. I will send you emails. I will send you group me's, all the things because I rather you say that you sent me this message too many times versus I didn't get it. So I'm going to make sure that we communicate with you. Oops, excuse me. The learning and development piece. So um, like I said, we don't only focus on the athletic piece, but we focus on the educational, spiritual, and mental development of the children and the athletes. One of the things that right during COVID, we were very huge on the mental development piece. I'm a huge advocate for making sure mentally they're taken care of. And my job, from a personal note, they give like health and wellness sessions where you can see a counselor 16 sessions a year. I'm constantly pushing that. I tell my kids, call your counselor, just talk, even if it's somebody just to talk to. I do myself, because sometimes you just need that outlet. And so we try to, be a sounding board for the kids as well. If sometimes they come, hey, Miss Tasha, can I talk to you? Absolutely. What is it on your mind? And we talk and we try to be there as a resource for the children to kind of help the parents out because it's a struggle. I'll go ahead and share before I get ahead of myself. My husband and I, we have two kids. They're twins, boy and a girl. They're 19, going on 48, and they're currently in college right now. And they went on college on Scott. Well, my daughter, she went on a track scholarship. Our son, he's there for track, working on a scholarship. So we try to show and teach and train how to go out and get that money. And we try to share our experiences so you won't have to go through them. Like there's a lot of things that we're experiencing this year that I can't wait to share some of the things so the parents would know, what to do, like even going out for colleges, being recruited, how to approach those things. So those are things that we share. And when I say teach and develop and train, we're not just training the athletes, we're training and teaching the parents. And we're learning from the parents as well, because we don't have it all together either. So you guys teach us. So it's like a give and take thing. We do community service projects. Last year we didn't get the opportunity. Did we do? Oh, we did. We did do a community service project. Our community service project last year was a blood drive. And so we try to do a community service project each year to show the kids that it's not always give, take as well. It's also we want to show them how to give back. One year we partnered with the Habitat for Humanity and we made something called baffles. I did not know what a baffle was, never heard of it. But apparently there's you paint them and it's something that goes in the air ducts or something. I don't know. Maybe the heat and air people could tell you what that is. But we had the kids, we rented a shelter at the park. They Target donated us some gift cards and paints and brushes and all this stuff, and they just painted all day and had fun. And on a Saturday, and then we had a cookout to show them for their work, and because it was something that the Habitat for Humanity needed to put in these houses, and they made them. And then we had a cookout, chips, drinks, hot dogs, and we had a good time. And that was a community service project. Last year, we did a blood drive where we had the parents, each parent or athlete go out and get someone to come to the blood drive or the blood mobile to donate blood. And they gave us um, money back. Matter of fact, I don't even think they sent us our check, but they gave us money for every person who donated blood. So it was like a fundraiser community service event. Educational outing, as I shared with you guys before, we try to do some type of educational trip each year. Couple of years we went to the African American History Museum. Last year we went to the African American History Museum, the White House, and the Capitol, all in the same day. Couple of years before that, around COVID, we couldn't go do the bus, but we caravan, everybody followed. We went to the Civil Rights Museum in Greensboro. If you've never gone to the Civil Rights Museum in Greensboro, it is definitely a go-to. Go-to, yes. So we did that, and we also did a escape room as a engagement activity. So we broke ourselves up in team. Team one did one, and team two did one, and we did escape room, and then we went to eat. So we did something very fun. We also do engagement activities, like we do a team luncheon towards the beginning, so the parents can get to know each other as well as the kids, because we try to build a camaraderie so parents would know, because we're a track family. When I address our parents, I don't say, hey, SETC track team. I'm saying, hey, SETC track family, hey, family, because we're involved, we're invested. And so we want to be involved in your family. I have 2023 here, but that means 2025. Our goal is to do the developmental sessions, but hopefully that all pans out. And the reason why I say that, because we're a small track team, we do have a team, a board of directors. We do have that. But our track team, our staff is very small. Now we have a board of directors to kind of govern us, and then they tell me no, yes, no, on what I should and shouldn't do. I'll be honest. Like for example, for a while, our track dues were the same. And when COVID happened, a lot of stuff increased, and I didn't want to ever go up on our track dues. But I'll be transparent with you. The board came to me and said, hey, we don't have to increase those dues at all. But I tell you one thing, you won't have a track team in about 2 years. And I was like, oh, okay, let's talk now. And so they help me. In other words, they keep me balanced. So they don't let me do whatever it is I want to do, and they keep me sane. And so they tell me from a business perspective, even though I know business, but sometimes my heart get the best of me, and I'm like, I want to do this. And they're like, well, you can't do that for free. Why not? Because you don't have the money. And so they keep me honest. So one of the things that we do as far as going to the payments and fees, this is typically what it costs us. And these numbers are a little old, which means some of those numbers are a little higher. This is what it costs us per athlete. It costs us about $665 per athlete. We don't charge that, but because we want to make it affordable for each child to be able to participate. And so I will share with you on our payment thing as far as what we actually charge, but we come in a deficit. Well, actually, we come in a deficit about 665 when we used to charge 250 per athlete, because it costs us about $900 to per athlete, because we have the track uniform, the bottoms, the track warm-up suit, and the track warm-up suit is about $100 by itself, and the uniform is about $100. The shirts are 20, and all that stuff adds up. So we try to make it affordable for every child to be able to participate, and we do a couple of different options to make it affordable. We do flex pay, where you do 3 installment payments, and that usually start January 10th, February 10th, and March 10th. Of course, we're past those dates. Our open registration is every January 2nd, meaning you can register as soon as January 2nd, get it out the way, or you can go ahead and start up your payment plan. And we do that right after New Year's to give parents time to make those payments. We do a fund pay, which is to raise the membership funds where we partner with Krispy Kreme Donuts with partnership cards. And what it is, you just sell enough partnership cards that'll pay for your dues or the child dues. And the partnership cards are what, like they $20. And I think you sell them for like $20 and you get like every one you sell, you get like $9 or something like that. So you can sell enough to pay for all your dues. Um, or you could just pay straight out cash check, but excuse me, cashier's check, Cash App, PayPal. We do not do personal checks for obvious reasons. We've had that to not go so well. So we don't do personal checks, but we'll do cashier's checks and money orders. I'm going to skip to this slide real quick. This is what our dues are now. Instead of 250, it's 275 for the first package, 300, and then 360, opposed to the $900 of what it cost us. And as a first timer, you would be the package 3 because you would need the warm up suit, the t-shirt, the whole thing because you've never been a part of our track team before. If you are a returning athlete, then you could do package 1 or 2, where basically you don't get the warm up suit. There's other things that kind of go into that, but for the most part, this is the main stuff. So again, the first timers, you get the warm up suit, you get the uniform, you get the t-shirt, and you're part of USATF and AAU. Package 2 includes that, but it doesn't have the warm-up suit. Package 3 doesn't have the warm-up suit or the t-shirt. Now like I said, there's other things that involve in those dues that we have to rely on fundraisers to help get us the rest of it. The only other thing that you will be responsible for as a parent, which we used to consume that cost, but that become very pricey and we lost a whole lot of money, is the track meets. So when we go to a track meet, the registration is usually like $8 per event. Like if your child is in, say, the 100, 200, and javelin, that's 3 events. If it's $8 per event, it's 8 times 3, and we go from there. So you'll be responsible for just letting us know. We usually tell you like that Monday. You'll get a schedule of the track meets, and then we'll tell you, hey, reminder by that was it Tuesday? Tuesday most of the time. Most of the time it's like that Tuesday. Let us know because we have to have registration in by like Tuesday night at midnight. And then you just kind of send the money over via Cash App or whatever, and then we register your child. We practice for development, not for the track meets. And what I mean by that is a lot of kids think, oh, I'm just going to go to practice. Practice is nothing. But at that track meet, I'm going to work it out. No, we want you to put it all in and practice because what you learn in practice is what you're going to show up on the track. Now, and again, I'm probably getting ahead of myself. We are not that track team that's everybody gets a trophy because everybody's a winner. That's true. Everybody is a winner. At the same time, everybody doesn't get a trophy, a participation trophy. You get a participation certificate, but not a trophy. If you earn it, you get it. So we're big on teaching development and that things are just not handed to you just because you want it. And so if you want to work hard and you want to, put in the work, then it's gonna show on the track. And so, but we practice for development. We let them know that, hey, you're not going to win every track meet. You may not win any of them, but you are in competition with yourself. And how you get better is you do better than what you did the first time. You may be in a 100-meter race and you may run it in 15 seconds the first time. The next time you may run it in 14.9. You've gotten better. Then you may constantly continue to bring your time down. And that's what we focus on. So they're not beating themselves up, trying to worry about if I beat the guy in the third lane or the girl in the first lane. Is about how you continue to get better. Kind of went through that. Yep, I kind of talked about that already. talked about the fees. These are our fundraisers that we usually have. I haven't outlined all our fundraisers for this year just yet. So don't pay attention to this with the exception of this one. This fundraiser we would do each year, regardless, no matter what. And that's called a pledge of prayer. And the reason why we do pledge a prayer is twofold. One, of course, the obvious to raise funds, but mainly is to get the child and so they can get them and build their support system. Because track and field, any type of sport, it could be a lot. And so we want them to build their support system. So what I do is just a fundraiser I made up to kind of build their support system. They get a list of scriptures, and each scripture is $2 a scripture. Our foundational scripture is Isaiah 40:31. They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength, shall mount up with wings as eagles, shall run and not be weary, shall walk and not faint. And that's what we kind of conduct ourselves by. So that scripture is going to be $5, of course, because that's our foundational scripture. And what we have the kids, the athletes to do is, hey, call up Uncle Jimmy and say, hey, Uncle Jimmy, guess what I'm doing this year? I'm doing summer track. Will you support me? Yes, I will support you. I'll be excited to support you. What I need you to do is pledge a prayer. And I want you to look at my prayer list, what prayer that you want to pray for me. And I want you to pray that prayer for me. And he said, oh, I'm going to take number 5. Okay. Put Uncle Jimmy's name by number 5. And Uncle Jimmy give you $2 at least. He can give 5. He said, you know what? I'm going to give you 10 for that one. That's perfectly fine. And he put Uncle Jimmy's name on there. Now, when it's time to turn in the pledge of prayer, you just turn the money into us. We want you to keep the pledge sheets, the pledge of prayer sheets. And the reason being because we want you to post that somewhere. When I say you, the athlete, to post that somewhere in their room, they can look at it every day. And when they get ready to quit and they get ready, I'm tired, I don't want to go to practice today. I want them to look at that prayer sheet and say, look at all these people who are praying for you. They believe in you. They want you to succeed. So Uncle Jimmy's name on there, Aunt Sally's name on there, they are encouraging you. So come on, let's go into practice and get this work in. That's also the people that you're going to call, hey, I got a track meet on Saturday, Uncle Jimmy. You want to come see me run? Absolutely, I'll be there. Hey, Uncle Jimmy, we're doing this. You want to come support? That's going to start building that support system. And I can't tell you how huge that is from a personal perspective because I have twins. We have twins. I share that with you guys in the beginning. And we built our support system early on. And I can tell you, if it wasn't for our support system, I'd have no idea how we could have made it with two at one time because our support system has always been there. When our kids reach any type of milestone, these are people I text, these are people I called. I have a list on my phone, and it's a good size list. People we went to church with, people that I work with that know my children that my children don't even know, but they know my children because they grew up with them. And so when they graduated high school, it was easy. We had when we had a Sweet 16 party. It was easy. We had about 75 to 100 people at this Sweet 16 party. It wasn't their friends that they went to lunch with. They could come, but it was older people that was praying for them that were there to support them. When they graduated from high school, their graduation party, those are the folks that we sent invitations out to. When they hit milestones now, those are the people we'll send text messages just to say, hey, as a reminder, this is what happened. Z is now doing this. Mikhail is now doing this. And that's our support system because I'm a strong believer it takes a village. So that's why we do that pledge of prayer every year to make sure that they start, if you haven't started already, to start building your support system. So what to expect as far as track meets? First, I don't think I shared, I must have skipped that slide, but our track practice, we practice 3 days a week. We practice on Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. We don't practice on Fridays because typically our track meets on Saturdays and we don't want to tire the athlete out before the track meet. And so we don't practice on Fridays. Every now and then we may have an impromptu practice and it's totally optional. If they want to come, they can come out, fine. Our practice starts at 6 o'clock. On Mondays, it's from 6 to 7:45. On Wednesdays, it's from 6 to 7:15. And on Thursdays, it's 6 to 7:45. And the reason why we do that, we recognize that a lot of people have Bible study on Wednesday, and we want to be cognizant of that. We don't want to be the reason why it's stand between you and Bible study. As far as track meet is concerned, these are some things that you may want to have during track meet, and these are some things that we want the athlete to have during track practice. Track meet, we'll start with track practice first. Track practice, we want them to come with a notebook, a Bible, paper, pencil, chair if they want to, or they can have one of those little mats because we do a lot of sitting on the ground or whatever. The book bag is just so they can have their stuff in. And so they're not saying, I don't have my stuff, because it's going to be probably right after school until school is out. They could just grab their stuff, grab their spikes, grab their shoes or whatever, all their stuff in one spot. They can grab it and go. They may use their Bible, they may not. They may use the pencil and paper, they may not, but at least they'll have it. Um, Track meets, these are some items, suggested items for track meets. I will go ahead and share with you. And I share this story every year. You'll look at this list and you'll say, oh, surely I don't need all that stuff. You will. You will. I learned the hard way the first time we got involved in track and field. I grew up in track and field seeing my brothers, but I can't remember what we were doing. They were like 10, 13 years older than me. I just know we showed up. And so the very first time they told us we needed this stuff, and my husband and I took a little sandwich bag with a couple of sandwiches and those little lawn chairs right there that you see, and we thought we were good. Track meet started about what, 8, 9 o'clock. We get there and it's in the summertime and we'll be good. About 10 o'clock, we had ran out of food. It was hot as I don't know what, and we were miserable. And so the next day, we went to Cabela's and we got our tent, we got our coolers, and all that stuff. We truly learned our lesson. So I would make a point to stress to parents, you don't have to have that stuff, but it would definitely be wise. Now, we do have a tent. We always bring a tent, and the parents who don't have a tent, um, or if they forget their tent, of course, we share. We're a track family, so we all kind of share things like that. But yeah, it is definitely something to have. Track meets are typically all day. So I would not plan for anything for a Saturday if you go into the track meet. So here are some of our highlights, and our last couple of years highlights are not on this one, but I will say that we continue to grow. And I love that. And I thank God for that. As long as God continue to bring us the children, we'll continue to do it. Um, One of the things that I do pride ourselves on, one of the things that we make sure that every athlete that comes through our team get a personalized Bible with their name on it, because we want to make sure that they know what the Word of God says about them. So that's one thing that I'm adamant about. At the end of year celebration, we make sure that every athlete that is their first time coming through Sword Eagles Track Club, they get a Bible with their name on it. That's 2022. We as of that time, we gave away about 30 Bibles. As of to date, we've given over 50 Bibles away. It's like 40 to 50 Bibles away. And so that's one thing. Like I said, I'm very proud of that we continue to give the Bibles away with their names engraved on it. And they're not a little flimsy Bible either. They're the leather Bibles and they have their names on it. And the kids, they really appreciate that when they see that this is their word. And then they can never say, I don't have a Bible. Yes, you do. You have a Bible that you was given to you, to your track team. Some of the accomplishments that we've done and had, I won't go through all those, but these are just some of the things that we've done. And one of the main things that I'm proud of is that since 2022, we have been doing our track meet, which is a USATF track meet, and it's called the Lee Vernon McNeil SETC Invitational. And I'm very proud of that because doing a track meet with a track team as small as us is a huge undertaking event. And our parents and our community kind of work together, as well as folks that knew my brother, and they want to see this happen. And every year we have anywhere from 60 to 100 volunteers to kind of step in and help us do this. And we start working on it from January till July. Is it July? Yeah, July when we have it. So that's one of the things that I point out. This is our coaches staff. We have Coach Mike, which is right here. Coach Wayne, he's one of our coaches. Coach Larry, which we call Coach Sensei because he also is a Taekwondo instructor. Coach Larry, he retires every year. And last year he tried to retire on us, but he came back. So I don't know if he's going to try to retire on us again this year, but we're going to say he's not. And he's a very huge instrument to our team. He's like our grandpa of our team, and we love it. And then Coach Lee, you will always continue to see him on this slide because that's kind of helped us start it. That's my brother. And he was one of our coaches, but we honor him through our track meet that we have every year. So I know I've thrown a lot of stuff at you guys. So I want to go ahead. I'm going to stop sharing my screen just in case I missed everything. I mean, anything on the chat. And I want to just kind of open it up for questions. Anyone have any questions, comments, anything that I may have missed? Anything. You can either take yourself off mute or put it in the chat, and then we can go from there. So I'm going to pause and kind of open it up for questions.
Hi. What are the age ranges for the kids in the track team?
Thank you. I'm glad you asked that question. I probably skipped over that. I try to talk fast, so I'll be cognizant of your time. But we start at age 5 up to 18. And the reason why we do age 5, if they're younger than age 5, we have taken them before, as long as they are mature and they will listen. Now, I'll be 100% transparent with you. I have turned some kids away because of the maturity level. Now, we're not asking for your kid to come in tip-top shape and they'll have everything going, but this particular young lady, she wanted her daughter to be a part of the track team, but her daughter was well over age 5, but the daughter was very disrespectful to the mom. And we don't mind helping, but it's a partnership. We couldn't do all the work. And so wasn't mom wasn't ready. I'll put it that way. And neither was the child. And so we said, and I explained to the young lady, now, if you want to be a part of this track team, you're going to have to listen and you're going to have to listen to your mom. And so I say that to say that we really take pride in what we do with the kids and try to help. But like I said, it's a partnership, but we'll take them as young as 5. And if they're mature, they can be younger than 5. Like we had a 4-year-old on our team and everybody thought she was like 5 or 6 and very well-mannered. Yeah, we had to get on her a couple of times, but nothing, no big deal. My husband and I used to do youth ministry. We did youth ministry at our church for like 13 years. So we know how to work with small kids. That's not a big. Great question, but 5 to 18. Any other questions?
I have one more question.
You can ask as many as you like.
My daughter ran track with the community group for about 2 years. She's not a competitive runner. She likes to play with her shadow and run like she's a butterfly. Is this more of a competitive track group?
Well, let me ask you, how old is your daughter?
She just turned 6.
Okay, so she's doing what all the other 6-year-olds do. So to answer your question, it is competitive track, yes, but it's to get them ready for it. What you're describing is no different from our other 5 and 6-year-olds. They're running around chasing their butterflies, and we had a kid that was he was 12 and he wanted to wear a cape on his back. It was like, absolutely not. You're not wearing that on the track field, but you could do it all you want in practice. And so but yeah, kids are going to be kids, but like I said, it's there to they get with the other kids and they believe it or not, the younger kids act more mature than the older kids. Um, because they're looking like, hey, I'm a big kid now, and this is how I'm gonna act. I'm gonna be mature. When the big kids are acting like the small kids, and we're calling them down more than the small kids. So yeah, she will be perfectly fine. And I will hit this part too. It is developmental track. So if your athlete has never ran before, that is perfectly fine. So again, although we say it's competitive track because we want them to see that what we teach them, that they have the test. The track meet is the test. The workout is the practice. And so we want to see, what is it that you're learning? Are you able to apply what we've taught you? And so that's what the track meets are about. So we're not looking for every child to come out, hey, go and win your heat. No, that's not realistic. But we are able to see, okay, are you staying in your lane? Because that's mainly what we teach the smaller kids. Learn how to run in your lane. And if they get that, hey, we've done it. You ran that whole race and stayed in your lane. And not only did you run the whole race and stayed in your lane, you finished. How cool is that? And so those are the things that we teach. And then we build on that. Next year, it may be, hey, you finished and stayed in your lane and you did it a lot quicker than you did it last year. And then by the time they, in 12, 13, 15, they're working on time. Oh, I'm trying to beat my time because they learned the fundamentals. We had an athlete who I thought all children knew how to run, but this kid did not. And we had to train him how to actually run. And by the end of the season, no, he was not winning and he was coming in dead last, but he knew how to run. And so, and he did get faster. So it's more about the development piece. Great question. What else?
Hey, Coach Tasha. It's Joy. I'm not sure. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Did you talk about the meets this year and like the surrounding areas kind of where we'll be this year?
I did not, but I let my husband talk about that.
That's what I was doing the first few minutes when I had my head down. That's what I was doing. I was looking at to see what was out there so far. So as of right now, it's not a lot out there, but I will say we do travel. Um, we try to stay within a reasonable distance. A lot of them are going to be in Durham, maybe a few of them in Greensboro or A&T. Charlotte is normally the furthest that we travel now. The reason I say now because we have gone to Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. Love the track meet, but probably won't go there anymore. Simply because it's like one of the worst drives ever. It's long and boring. There is a Myrtle Beach track meet that we've done in the past, and I try to plan that one every year, but for some reason it keeps getting canceled. And part of the reason behind I'm planning that one is because we use it as a track meet and then also like a mini vacation or whatever. And they're going to be running all year, all summer. Because it's normally a Friday, Saturday meet, and then we stay to Sunday for those who choose to stay there to Sunday. And after the track meet on Saturday, give kids time some hang out at the beach and have somewhat of a small summer vacation in the mix of all the running. So but yeah, well, for the most part, local. We do go to Wilmington. The first track meet of the year is in Wilmington. We kind of like officially, unofficially partner with them. We go help them with their meet, and then when we have our meet, they come up and help us. So, and that's pretty much it. But yeah, we try to stay in North Carolina. I cannot remember off the top of my head where nationals are this year for those who may qualify for nationals or regionals. I think they're both going to be out of state this year.
I don't want to say, I thought it said Greensboro.
One of them may be in Greensboro, but I'm not for sure. But as more stuff opens up on the website that we pull from, I will be able to tell you more. I'm trying to glance right quick, and I don't even see nationals on here yet.
Yeah, ultimately our goal is to try to get a track schedule so you guys have it. But they're a little slow at putting stuff out there for us to kind of pull what we're going to be a part of. So normally you start to see them towards the end of, well, it is the end of the month, the first part of March, because I know a couple of times I was able to have a whole schedule outline and I was able to give that away during our registration shifts, our in-person registration session. But as we get those, and we'll continue to keep the schedule update. We try to do anywhere from 7 to 10, sometimes 12 track meets a year. Well, the track season, not the year, but the track season. And they all optional. So if you like, well, I can't make it this one, that's fine. Just let us know, and we won't register your child for that. Um, what else can I tell you about that? But we always kind of give you an idea well in advance what what to look for and what it looks like. Because like I said, I like to over communicate and under communicate.
So yeah, so for the ones that qualify, this year USATF Junior Olympics is going to be at A&T, and
Benjamin gets to redeem himself. That's awesome. We will definitely be using that this season.
yeah, tell him to stay out of trouble.
That part.
But yeah, we try to, of course, try to go USATF and AAU track just to see what's available, and so the child will have more opportunity.
Yeah, and so we'll be shooting for USATF nationals because I did find AAU finally. AAU is going to be in Houston, Texas this year. So
And to that, I do want to kind of touch on that. You guys, one of the things that I know that I do, I try to use wisdom. I tell you guys what's out there, what I recommend, and all that good stuff, but it's totally the parents' choice. And what I mean by that, and I just speak freely and blunt. Um, we realize that this is a developmental track team. And so we have athletes that may be 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, and we have some that may be 17, 16, 17. And we work with them. And of course, they're on different levels. You may have that 16-year-old who's really pumping it out, and that 8-year-old is just learning the fundamentals. So when we say like the national track meet or regional track meet, of course, all the track meets are optional. But the example I would give, like when it comes to nationals, if your child qualify for nationals, you're not obligated to send them or take them there. That is totally up to you. And we're going to partner with you, of course. But like, for example, the best way I can explain it, my daughter, our daughter, I can always say mine, but our daughter been running track since she's been 8 years old. Our son started more so when he was like 12, 13. Um, but she was running track since she was 8. She qualified, she used to do javelin as well. And she qualified one year to go to the national track meet for javelin. She was 8 years old. There was no way we were getting on a plane to go to California so she could throw javelin. And it wasn't going to guarantee her a scholarship at 8 years old. Great experience, yes, but I'm you guys will learn from me. I'm very frugal when it comes to money. I try to budget down to a penny, and I want to know where everything is going. And so that just didn't make good financial sense to me to put my daughter and myself, and of course my husband was going to want to go, and then my son couldn't leave him. All four of us
husband was going your option.
to put all four of us on a plane to go to California for her to throw a javelin at 8 years old. Now, fast forward, she qualified for nationals in her high school in hurdles at 17, and it was in New York. Absolutely. We got in the car and we went to New York. If it was in California twice, if it was in California, we would have then jumped on a plane and went to California because she's 17 now and she's been looked at for scholarships versus her being 8 and you can do it next year. We told her, hey, we'll get you some ice cream. She was okay. She was good with that. So that's why I say when I say use wisdom, because believe it or not, some parents did take their 5-year-old to California. We just weren't one of them. And we didn't have our track team at the time, but
We're Sacramento, California.
yeah, it was
which is
Sacramento.
very expensive.
Right. And so a friend of mine took her daughter, and she didn't gain anything different than my daughter gained. So it's one of those things, use wisdom. Now, if they were in high school, I would say, hey, make the sacrifice, especially if they were competitive. Not if they were in high school and they're running, if she was running hurdles at 17 seconds, then absolutely you're not going. So she wouldn't have made it. But being that she was competitive, that was a decision. And we've done the Florida trips, we've done the New York, Pennsylvania, things like that. So we just try to use wisdom with it all. What other questions you have? Any more? Okay, well, if you guys think of any other questions.
I have a question for Joy. How was Ben's football season?
Is she? I don't think she can hear. We can take
But
that off.
so you asked,
Oh.
did you ask how was football season?
Yeah, for Ben.
So football season went well. Of course, they want him back on the team. They're trying to get him to play rugby, and I was like, no, we're not beating anybody's. You better be glad I let him get on the football field. So, then he got to school, and now he's thinks he's a basketball player. So we're letting him explore and do his thing. We didn't want to single him out and tell him it's only track, but he knows his life, and he knows what he got to focus on. There's Bailey.
So I put my contact.
So it went
Oh,
well.
I'm sorry. Good. I'm glad to hear that. Ben has been with us for some time now, and his alter ego is Usain Bolt, just so you guys know. But yeah, I put my contact information for the ones who, if you did not have it, my cell phone number. Feel free to text, call anytime. That number comes directly to me. So does that email address. I will be honest that you would get me a lot quicker on my cell phone texting. If for some reason you send me a text and I have not answered you within 24 hours, please resend it. I get a lot of messages on this phone in between work because I actually have a real job. I remember a parent thought I did this like this was all I do. No, I actually have a real big person job that I got to fly out on Monday for a week, and then I come back. But I get a lot of messages, so I promise you I'm not ignoring you. So if you text me and I don't respond back within 24 to 48 hours, please text me back or call me or whatever and tell me, hey, I didn't get a response. The emails come directly to me as well. Me and my husband, we both check it. So if you have any questions, we did have a Facebook page, but somebody hacked it. I don't know what happened and deleted it. I don't know why, but we are on social media as far as Instagram, YouTube. We do put our kids' races on YouTube. We ask you to record them too, just in case we missed them. So if you want to go see some of the kids compete, just their race, go out to the YouTube page. You can see them. But if you come up with any questions, concerns, comments, whatever, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Our next session, like I said, is going to be on March 3rd at 6 o'clock at the community center. The address is in the flyer. I'll put the address in the chat just in case you guys did not get the flyer. But I'll put the address there. I think it's 756 something, but I send that. And pretty much what you do, just fill out the application and we'll take the kids' measurements and the payment, and then we'll go from there. If you want to go ahead and mail that in, that's perfectly fine. You could do that. If you have any questions on how to coordinate to get what, do what, call me, let me know. We can work that out. Did I miss anything? I think that's about it. Do any of you have any additional questions? Or anything that I may have missed? Well, if not, I hope to see you guys. I'm excited about this year. Like I said, we try to keep our track team small so we can have that individualized attention. Um, I did not share. I forgot to share that we do have student athletes that help us, which are um, my children. They come and help us out and train as well as another athlete that kind of graduated through our track team. He comes out and help, and we're hoping to have one more who just graduated last year. I asked him if he was going to come help us out this year. He kind of said, "I don't know." I said, "Forget you then," and we just and gave a hug and we went on our way. But he said he'll come out and help, so that's what we do. Yep, I'm putting the address in there right now. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad it's 756 Lunar Drive, Raleigh, North Carolina, 27610. That's the address. And the time, thank you. Great question. Again, 6 o'clock p.m. We'll be out there from 6 to 7 for in-person registration. But again, if you think of any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us. Don't feel like, oh, I don't want to ask. Please ask. You don't know what you don't know. So don't feel like you don't want. You can text me anytime. Now, I may not respond if you text me late, but I'll respond the next morning. So that you can, if you feel the need to text me at midnight, that's totally on you. I may not answer it because it won't wake me up because I sleep through anything. But just know that I will get to you and I will as soon as I can. And if I don't respond within 24 hours, just 24 to 48 hours, just text me back. And like I said, I'm flying out on Monday. So there will be a block where I won't have any signal because I'll be on a plane. And then I fly back on Thursday, late Thursday night. But not this Thursday, but of next week. But other than that, you should be able to reach me. Any questions? Do we need to bring our own? Nope, I have measuring. Let me repeat the question. Do we need to bring our own measuring tape or just the kid and money? Should they be dressed a certain way? Great question. You do not need to bring your own measuring tape. I will have that. Yep, just the kid and money. They don't need to necessarily be dressed a certain way. But if they have on a hoodie, they're gonna have to pull that hoodie up. So if they have on a t-shirt, that's fine. I just measure from around the back, like the bust area, the waist area, and the hips. And those are the measurements we give when we do the uniforms. Any other questions? I want to make sure whoever want questions typed in, you can put them in the chat or come off mute and ask whichever you feel comfortable. All right. Do you have a recommendation for shoes for our discretion? Oh, as in shoes. Great question. No real recommendation for well, let me take that back. Running shoes, training shoes for practice. Please do not have them come out there with Jordans or just school shoes because they're not going to be able to run in those. Some shoes that they can that's flexible that they can run in, like any type of running shoe. I'm going to always say something by Nike because I just like Nikes. But they don't have to be Nikes. As long as they're a good running shoe, I'm fine. As far as spikes, we'll talk more about spikes. My husband could tell you a little bit about the spikes now, but depending on the age of the child, that's why I won't get into a whole lot right now and the events that they're running. Like, for example, if you have a 8-year-old, I would not suggest to go out there and get them a pair of Max 5s. Those are expensive. Now, my children, they wear Max 5s because they're also running track in college. But I wouldn't recommend you can go to a Ross and sometimes they have spikes on their rack. But if they're running sprinting events, you have to get sprinter spikes. If they're running long distance, you have to get long distance spikes. So we'll talk more about that when we have our actual session when we get ready and gear up for the first couple of practices. But as far as practice is concerned, just a typical nice running shoe will be fine. What other questions? Good
When they
question.
do when they do their paperwork, do you need the birth certificate if you had it the first year?
Great question. If they had it the first year, no, I don't need that.
Okay.
But if you are a new member or new athlete, then I do need a copy of your birth certificate. And if you need the application packet, the easiest way I can
It has to have a seal on it.
Yeah, the birth certificate does have to have the seal on it. If you need an application packet, the easiest way I can probably get it to you without just flooding people with information is if you either text me that you need it. I think you may be able to download a copy on our website. I'm not 100% sure because I don't run the website. A lady in Dubai does. But if it's not out there, I can email that to you. So you can either text me your email and say, hey, can you email me a copy of the application packet? I can send that over. Or the day of registration, I usually print a couple of copies out. Excuse me. I usually print those out and you can fill it out there. But it's easier to have it already filled out. So if you need one, just shoot me a text and I'll send it within the next couple of days. Just the time for the registration, 6 o'clock, March 2nd at 6 o'clock. What other question? Absolutely. And we'll be out there till about 7. So I would recommend if you are planning to join, just have all your paperwork done. All I have to do is take your measurements. You'll be in and out, and that's it. Any other questions? You guys, I love it when you ask questions. Okay, well, if no one else has any other questions, I want to say personally, thank you guys for giving us an hour of your evening. I do not take that kind of stuff lightly because I know it is a task. Trust me, I've been on meetings all day long, so I get it. So thank you from my heart as well as my husband. We sincerely thank you for joining and popping on today. Again, if you have questions and you think of something later, do not hesitate to call 919-818-8546. That is my cell number. Call, text, reach out. I don't mind. March 2nd, if you didn't get a flyer, I can send you that flyer too that outlines March 2nd, our registration session. It is on Facebook, on our Facebook page. It is on our Instagram page. If you're wondering I said Facebook, we don't have a Facebook anymore, but it is on our Instagram page. And our Instagram page is Soaring Eagles Track Club. You should be able to find it. Once you see that eagle, it's right there. Any other questions? Thank you guys so much. Have a great, fantabulous night. You guys have been all-tastic, and I thank you. So hope to see you guys on March 2nd. And again, if you need me, just reach out. Thank you guys. Have a good night.
Good night.
All right. The happy feet.